The numbers in our housing market are ever changing, so it's so important to stay on top of those changes. With Market Insights, we bring you the stats, facts, and figures to keep you and your clients informed. Join us now.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Kiburz with the Market Insights for Landmark Title, February of 2023. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, today here our agenda, we're going to talk about John Burns, the Inman update that just took place last week, some examples of Chat GPT and DALL-E 2. Then we're going to dial into the numbers, heart and soul with Maricopa County, and leave you with the individual cities. So here we go. Question for the group if you're watching. The economic impact Q1 of Maricopa County. We just finished the Barrett-Jackson auto auction. We have the Super Bowl and the Waste Management Open coming up here very soon. And before the end of the month, before the end of February, we're going to start spring training. We're going to have over $1 billion impact in our metro with these four events happening in the month of February. Just know that there's a lot of people in town, not always easy to get a restaurant reservation, but our city is being shown off to the world globally as we speak. Please enjoy. Quick update from John Burns. This came out this week, and they're talking about demand for housing. And what they're saying here is that Phoenix is number 4 out of 5 of the most undersupplied residential housing market in the nation. Quick headlines, because I know there's been other insights that have come out talking about, is our market going to crash? Ladies and gentlemen, people still want to move to Phoenix. Let's talk about the Inman news that just happened last week. One of the highlights that came out was there's a reckoning at hand about our market. But when you read the fine print, everybody, what it's really saying is the economists and other housing experts predict more balance between buyers and sellers. Home prices won't change much while interest rates will continue to dip. So is there really a reckoning at hand? That might have been a little bit of an overstatement in this particular headline. Moving forward, Zillow deploys AI. What they've launched with Zillow here lately, ladies and gentlemen, is not only the number of pictures that you can upload, but they've loaded software so you can see a split screen and see where you are in the house. If you're getting photos of the kitchen, it's going to show you the size of the kitchen and where they're standing when they took that photo versus a kitchenette that might be in a casita. That's the improvement of AI that they've recently launched in terms of their technology for agents out in the marketplace. Another headline is localized. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to this company. They betaed in the East Coast, New York and Baltimore area, I believe. They're just rolling out to the rest of the United States. This company is very strategic in bringing value to our marketplace. Pay attention to this company long term. Good things are happening. Vishal is with a company called Better. It's a lending institution. And he was on stage for about 15 minutes. He made some apologies. He went back into the world as CEO. The big takeaway here is about 95% of their business was in the refi industry of home mortgage. And he's come back in, looked at ways to top grade handling a consumer buyer's mortgage. And he's trying to create a one-day approval for a home mortgage. Everything would have to happen perfectly, but please know they're putting energy to get that done. Compass, the CEO, Mr. Revkin, talked about office space and how important the culture of being together is. And he just said, you know, working from your home has been the killer of culture. That's been his headline that he shared on stage with Brad Inman. And that we just need people, relationships, our creativity, our camaraderie, our energy is all lifted when we're together. One person's belief. CoStar, ladies and gentlemen, this is significant. CoStar, there's rumblings that they may be acquiring Move.com, which owns Realtor.com. Some quick behind the scenes knowledge that everybody should know. CoStar has acquired HomeSnap. They've acquired Homes.com. They acquired CoreLogic. CoStar's focus has been on information control. And if they do step up and write a check for $3 billion to Move.com, That'll be about $2 billion more than what Rupert Murdoch paid for it 10 years ago. I believe the sale price 10 years ago for Mr. Murdoch was about $1 billion. 10 years in, it looks like it's about $3 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the power of the information that we have. Next, this is a big headlines, ladies and gentlemen, is the National Association of Realtors out of Chicago sued the Department of Justice for an event that happened during the Trump administration. They agreed to a settlement, and this is about the clear cooperation policy. Moving forward, when the current administration came into place, the DOJ put that on hold, and NAR was left with not a lot of options, and so they sued the DOJ. Please know that that settlement happened last week during the Inman conference. Has to do with participation, has to do with clear cooperation. Please become aware of that. There are several other big lawsuits happening at the national level with NAR that are going to affect how we do business. The first one is set to go to trial in March, so next month. Stay tuned. 5 notable stories that happened at Inman. Again, the DOJ one. Another bullet point is that Boomtown was acquired. It was acquired by Inside Real Estate. And the 2 CEOs were on stage talking about how fantastic that is. Please know that Boomtown feels they have about 100 million consumers in their database. Please know they also see that there's about 150 million consumers total in the United States. So what they were trying to promote is we know who's out there in terms of buyers and sellers. The CoStar was another big piece, the Revkin piece, and that there were 23 video ideas from a social media standpoint that are to be implemented in 2023, especially if you rely on social media and video in your business. There were some great ideas that came from the Inman conference. Key questions that we should be asking buyers right now. This came from the stage, and this seems to be what most buyer potential sellers are asking right now. Is this the right time? Will sellers continue to lower their price? Will the market crash? What's going to happen to interest rates? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get the latest update on that even in the last few days in the rest of this presentation today. Hope we're doing well so far. So this is a review of 2022 when things hit the fan. And just an overview, if you're new to real estate, you need to know that mortgage rates spiked, that thousands of people lost their jobs. The iBuyer power buyers stalled out for sure. There were several chief executives that got the axe that transitioned. Wasn't there doing a poor job? It was substantial or significant due to the times. The stock market fell out of favor with real estate companies. 2 years ago, companies like EXP were north of 10 billion. Now they went as low as 1.7 billion. They're back up around 2.5 billion. A great example that some companies were off 60, 70, 80, even 90% from their absolute high. And they're just starting to rebound in the month of January. The big one about script flip on disruption. We're just trying to have less disruption, more normalcy if we can. And if you could just feel the energy in the hallways at Inman in New York, ladies and gentlemen, there was just as if we had bottomed out of the trough and we're starting to ascend again in the sine wave up in the marketplace. There's a lot of spring buying. That's a big market time for our local Maricopa County Metro. You know, starting in the second week of January through May is very significant for us. There was just energy back to whatever our new normal is going to be that was happening. Another one that I just want to give some energy to, because it was talked about on stage, the ChatGPT open AI system. And please know this headline here is that Microsoft is doing a multi-billion-dollar investment into that. I've played with that just a little bit. I've also played with DALL-E 2 for graphic design and art. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a hallway buzz all last week at Inman. Here is my example of ChatGPT. I just put in the question and I put it there, describe the future of real estate. It was about 22 seconds when this was out on my screen. I copied it. I'm not going to read it to you now, but It says overall, the real estate industry is likely to continue to evolve and adapt to changing trends and consumer preferences. Just spit that out in no time. Look for artificial intelligence to be more and more involved in real estate and written marketing information, perspectives throughout. It's going to play a part in our world moving forward. This is a quick example of DALL-E 2, which is a graphic design of artificial intelligence. And what I did is I asked DALL-E to print, please, a modern graphic of Old Town Scottsdale. That's on the left. And that's what came out the first time I asked the question. That is digital art right there. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but what would happen from the aerial view? So I just added the word aerial view of Old Town Scottsdale. And that's what kicked out. And so please know that's not exactly the Superstition Mountains in the horizon there, but it's similar. Then I'm in New York when I was doing this. And so I just said, do a pencil drawing of the New York skyline as well as a graphic design of the New York skyline. And this kicked out in about 20 seconds. I shared a couple with you. Just want to share with you what's possible moving forward. Let's get to some numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Total actives, Maricopa County, single family, etc. Our numbers are down just a little bit. Please note at the bottom far right of the graph, total sold single family in Maricopa County, 2,779. Total solds in Maricopa County, 3,539. That is the lowest I can remember in modern time, ladies and gentlemen. And it is a big change. So if you're in title, if you're in lending, if you're in real estate in general, the month of January might have been the bottom of the trough for us. And Scott, why do you even have the courage to say that? Ladies and gentlemen, about 3/4 of the way down, look at the lane of pending, please. Go to the far right. We have 5,098 homes pending as of the first of the month. Last month, a month ago, we simply had 2,852. So we're up, gosh, more than 2,000 more doors than we were this same time a year ago. Do we still have a lot of fallout in our marketplace due to approvals and negotiation? We do, but ladies and gentlemen, we haven't had 5,000 pending properties in 120 days. So look for the market to rebound compared to where it has been the last 120 days. There's some more blue sky ahead. And I want you to remember that as one key point of today's conversation. When you look out to just some simple math, when we bottomed out at 4,000 active listings, we had a mere 26 listings per zip code on the average. Ladies and gentlemen, on the first, we had an average of 74 listings. Now, we did go over 100 listing per zip code when our inventory got the most recent high that it's seen, but please just plan accordingly. The average zip code, 153 of them in Maricopa County proper, 74 is the average number of active listings in each zip code. When we look at the number of actives here, we're at 12,060. I want you to focus on the bottom left quadrant, the number of sold to list price. Please know the blue and the red line, dotted line. Notice that there's just a slight hook up, meaning we're getting closer to 100% than moving away to the 97 or the 96%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's also a response after about 7 months of this marketplace that the sellers are and the listing agents are getting more realistic in their list to sell price. But also, if you can for me, focus on the bottom right and look at the average cost per square foot. And those last two red bars are just about even. It looks as if we're seeing a leveling in terms of cost per square foot. And that's what I want you to focus on right now. Moving forward on this graph, we have supply and demand. So we've come down to 3.7 months of supply and absorption rate of 26.83, averaged all of Maricopa across the board. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we get to the individual cities, if there's an area you focus in Gilbert or Tonopah or Scottsdale or other cities, if you look hard and understand the second slide of the individual cities and do some simple math between the number of actives and the number of solds, some cities are at 50, 60% absorption rate right now as we speak. This 26.83% absorption rate is a look back for the last 30 days. And ladies and gentlemen, I anticipate that absorption rate to go much higher when we do our March report for everybody. Okay, so here is both Maricopa County and Pinal County combined. And I'm just trying to give you, everybody here, some texture that our active listings for all that big geographic area is up 236%, the blue circle. We had, follow the blue line or the white line over the blue number. We had just 4,245 listings in all of Maricopa and all of Pinal County this time a year ago. Our world has changed. The median sale price, we're still up 5%, 4.9% on average for all that geographic area. Were we much higher 10 months ago? Absolutely. We've peeled off from the top. But I just wanted to give a hover over both Maricopa and Pinal County. And when we dive into the individual two counties, to your left is Maricopa County. We're up 4.5%. We're averaging $249, just shy of $250 a square foot on average. And when you dip down into Pinal County, they're up 4.8% on average, and they're at 191, just over $191 a square foot. So there's just shy of a $60 gap there in the two counties combined. Month of supply, we're running 3.4 months in Metro Maricopa County and out to 4.5 in the Pinal County area. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to explain this slide again. I love this slide. This is where some of the real numbers happen. So be patient with me, everybody. But active listings on the first, we had 11,945 in Maricopa County. When you look at the solds, 3,205 against the actives, that's where we get that 27% absorption rate. So pay attention there. And then also look at the new listings, and new listings at 6,145. So we sold far less than we added on. We're stacking more inventory, just shy of being double of what we sold last month. I think the month of January 2022 is going to be one of the more recent record low total sold homes in our metro. So that is what we're looking at. We're looking at the comparison of active solds under contract. Look how that shot up to 6,500 there. And that would, at the burn rate of the new 6,145 coming in, we're going to start to burn our inventory off even more. Ladies and gentlemen, the current listings, what I want you to look at first is the black and the red line. Forget what the numbers mean. Just look at the hook coming up. That price per square foot is going up in the active average listing. When you go to the very bottom gray boxes and you look at the number of listings, 11,945, the average cost per square foot, $315. That's higher than it was 30 days ago. You have to go back 180 days to get close to that number. The median sale price, $272. That's higher than the last 30 days and equal to, or just about equal to, 90 days ago. So I just want you to see where the trends are. And I wanted you to see that. I call it a hook of the numbers ascending. Our market is starting to get some energy. When you look at here at under contract, similar thing here. Our average under contract, this is what we went under contract primarily in the month of January, 288 versus 295 a month ago, and median sale price 260, which is about the same as a month ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, under contract may be starting to pierce and level off. Now, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, study the green bars in the middle of the graph. And that green bar looks at under contract listing count. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see that green bar for the month of January going under contract in comparison to the December, which is barely above 4,000, we are approaching or right at 7,000 doors, 6,500, 7,000 doors for the month of January under contract. We have to go back to August. And then before that, we had a month like that. It was May of last year that beat it. Ladies and gentlemen, our market is coming back. Okay, sold volume, similar here, that we had very low numbers at 3,200 doors, but please know our average cost per square foot, 268, and our median 249. might be bottoming out right there. Cumulative days on market, still in the 2-month, 3-month arena. And sale to list price. So ladies and gentlemen, again, look at the black line hooking upward from December into January. Everybody's starting to figure out pricing better. If they had an original price, they've had a markdown, and they're getting the green average sold to list price in the 97, 98% range. When we look at the number of active listings, ladies and gentlemen, we peaked in October of last year at 16,133. January, we're down to 11,945. We're taking off that inventory. Now, a couple of things I want to point out to you here with these next 5 graphs is this. This is our active listings in Maricopa County, just not quite 12,000. We only sold 3,500 last month. Ladies and gentlemen, as we start to do an aggregate, I'll have you do some math in your head. We're going to look at expired, canceled, and temporarily off market, because those 3 combined were greater than our total number of solds last month. So people were either pausing their listing temporarily off market, letting it expire, and just saying, hey, this isn't the game I want to play in. I want to get some breathing room. Here are the numbers to reflect that. Actives just under 12,000. When we look at under contract, you see the dramatic spike in the blue line. We've gone from 42.24 to the far right to 65.29. That's going to be reflective. That is going to show up for us come March of this year. We haven't been this high since December of 2021. It's certainly better than it has been the last 120, 180 days. Ladies and gentlemen, here we're looking at closed, and you're seeing the resemblance of just 3,205 closed in the month of January, almost an all-time low. Number of new listings coming back on, like spring selling, spring buying season for housing. 7,291 is the number that we put in for the month of January. Here we're going to look at canceled. So when you take cancels at 1,413, and then you take the number of expireds and add that to a number. By the way, if that number looks unseasonably high, like a big spike, it is, but please know that is for the month considering December. Like the biggest single day of listings to expire is December 31st. It shows up January 1st. Then last but not least, temporarily off market. Aggregate those 3 numbers together, and we're going to be greater than the solds. So the market, let me say it a different way, ladies and gentlemen, the people that have their house listed today are more serious, and the people that are moving into the buy side are more serious. So look for purposeful business happening as we speak. Okay, just a quick report from Cromford, just looking back for the last year, what price point of homes have had the greatest appreciation, just so that people can see what's happening. That is relevant, I think. Now we're moving into the individual cities, and we're going to go through a couple more of these than normal and be very specific, because there's many stories to be told. So while all of Maricopa is up just under 5%, Apache Junction still up just about 10% from a year ago. Sold listings were at 55 for the month compared to 81 a year ago, and their month of supply is not 3 or 4 months, it's 2.9 months. Still a brisk market there in Apache Junction. Now, when we look at this graph here, what I want to point out to you is this. Let's stay with the blue colored numbers. We only have 161 active listings, 161. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 101 homes that went under contract in the month of January in Apache Junction. We only added, well, we did add 111. When we compare the 55 over the active listings, 61, we have the traditional 24%, 25% sales. But this time next month, if we close 101 properties out of 161, we're going to be 65, 70% absorption rate in the area of Apache Junction. That's going to be more competitive, more offers coming in, more offers at price, less demand for the seller to fix things or do seller concessions. Ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a snap hook in our market happening as we speak, and Apache Junction is going to be one of those areas that it's going to happen in. Avondale. So Avondale's up 5.9, just a little bit higher than the average of all Maricopa County. That's in the yellow graph there. But let's look similarly to those same blue numbers here in the active, under contract, and sold. We only sold 45 homes in Avondale last month, but we have 109 under contract as we speak. When we have 109 under contract and they're only adding 83, we're going to start to burn that inventory down quicker. 109 out of 180, we're going to be 55, 58% absorption rate in that market. And if we're only adding 83 new listings, our absorption rate is going to be even higher come April of this year. Buckeye's up 3.8%. Their active listings are up 426. We've done more building there. Let's see what that looks like. In the pie-shaped graph in the middle, new builds make up 20% of Apache Junction. 20%. So that's why there's a high inventory push there, far greater than most any other major city out there. So there's currently 668 listings in Buckeye and 316 went under contract. Again, just shy of 50%, in the 46% range. Ladies and gentlemen, that is up 60% from where it was just a month ago and 30% where it was 90 days ago. Our market is taking off. So as we wind down this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple more cities I'll point out to you. Carefree, far greater than a 5% appreciation. It still held its value very nicely at 27% higher than it was this time a year ago. And they only sold 3 listings last month. When we look at the same thing here, we only sold 3 homes. I'm trying to be dramatic, trying to be like, this is an explosion. We only sold 3 homes in that area last year, but we have 22 under contract as we speak, and they only had 39. So that's more than a 50% absorption rate if those can all hold and close. So ladies and gentlemen, the balance of the report goes through the individual cities of, I think we have a total of 18 to 20. They're alphabetized. I'm going to slow down when I get to the city of Paradise Valley. But I just want you to take a quick glance. If you're targeting a specific area, you have a time to see what that is. You can always go back to that and slow it down if you'd like. But as we land in Paradise Valley, ladies and gentlemen, we have active listings are up 60%, but that in the gold circle, the most affluent zip code in our marketplace, median sale prices are up 32% from a year ago. And so when we started this presentation today, looking at the Barrett-Jackson, the Super Bowl, spring training, and the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open, our city is getting some of the best notoriety it's going to have for multiple years. We've had a lot of rain. We've got a lot of good things come into our economic development, into our metro. And Paradise Valley has been a recipient of all that goodness. I appreciate you guys paying attention today. If there's something you guys need in the future, reach out to your business person at Landmark Title. They're great people to do business with. They always do a great job and they care deeply. So hope you found value in our market insight class today. Happy February, happy selling, and look for even more advanced numbers this time next month. Sarah?
Thank you for watching. Join us every month on Market Insights to be the realtor in the know.